Meghan was my first child. She's the one who made me a mom. What was she like? She was funny, she was precocious. She loved everybody. She became a big sister when she was 8, and she loved that. A lot of friends. More friends than I even knew she had. When they all came to the funeral, it was overwhelming how many people came to say goodbye to her. They had problems in the beginning. I think like back in 2019 was when it first started. And there was a couple incidences. There was one time where she had a second floor apartment in Troy and no access to the second floor from the outside. And somehow he got up on the second floor and got into her apartment and like held her, captive, and don't call the police and I'm gonna kill you and that. And she had a couple other times where he had put his hands upon her. But she would forgive him. June 26th of 21, right before her birthday, she had called me and she was walking over to the hospital. She wanted to check herself in because she was very depressed. She was feeling a little suicidal because of what was going on in their relationship. Things he was saying to her, and she was contemplating hurting herself, so she went to check herself into the hospital. They wanted to take her phone away because he started blowing up her phone, and then she wound up, I guess he said all the things that people like that say, and she checked herself out and went back, and then 3 days later they celebrated what would be her last birthday. It was the honeymoon phase. But it didn't last long. The day that everything happened, she had texted me in the morning that she told him he had to leave. He didn't want to leave and she didn't want to call the police. And I said, you have to call the police. If he won't leave, you have to call the police. So then I called her a couple hours later and she was happy. She was with her best friend and her best friend's babies. Super happy he was leaving. He had nowhere to go, but she really stood her ground. She's like, that's a you problem, not a me problem. She told me she was, they were going to go shopping, and she would call me later, and I said, text me, because I was going to be out to dinner. And we ended the phone calls with, I love you. She went over to the house shortly after that to get a credit card, and he was there on the front porch, and they had words. And then she walked away, and that's when he attacked her from behind. He stabbed her 54 times. I always say that a part of me died that day. We're not supposed to bury our children, and our children are not supposed to suffer like that. It just pushed me into advocating for change. There's so many things that need to change in the system, policies, laws that need to be written. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to save other people from this happening. And that's why safety planning is so important. You have to have a plan in place, keep it confidential, share it with very few people. It takes time. Meghan loved and loved hard. Even when she had a lot of struggles, she had a lot of internal demons that she was battling. And even in those times, even those dark times, she still would try to help other people. Definitely miss her, and I think everybody does. Hope she's proud of what I'm doing. I don't want anybody else to go through what she went through. It's preventable. If we have enough education and programs in place, we can prevent it